Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this special one-off episode with myself, Tibin27. Today, as you may have seen from the title of the video, it's going to be a little bit different. We are going to take an old football chant. I say old, I don't know how old it is. We're going to take a football chant and put it into practice. Okay, so now if it doesn't matter what level of the game you watch, whether you watch Premier League all the time or if you're a lower league fan like myself and watch League 2, League 1, doesn't matter. You probably would have heard the chant, the Football League is upside down. Now, the teams normally sing this if they're in trouble. I remember when Southend were getting relegated, I think, from League 1, so we sang the Football League is upside down, we're going up with the, and whoever else was in the relegation zone, the Football League is upside down. And it carries on like that. So, and obviously when we sing that, we obviously just mean our league, so like League 1 at the time, so we mean that we're top and whoever top is bottom. But what I have done for this special one-off episode is applied that chant to the whole of the English Football League. So what we have done is completely flip reverse things. So you will see that the Football League is completely flipped on its head. So because there are only 20 teams in the Premier League and there are 24 in the other three divisions, it doesn't quite balance out. So this is how I've had to jig it. So in the Premier League we have the bottom 20 teams as it stands on Christmas Eve when I'm recording. This is how it stands. So these are the bottom 20 teams in League 2. They are in the Premier League. In the Championship you can see it's the top 4 in League 2 as things stand right now. So that's Carlisle, Doncaster, Pompey and Plymouth. That's the top 4 of League 2. Along with the bottom 20 teams in League 1, they've all moved up into the Championship. In League 1, unfortunately, if you're supporting any of the top 4 teams in League 1, you haven't moved. So that is Bradford, Bolton, Scunthorpe and Sheffield United. So they are all still in League 1. And the bottom 20 teams from the Championship have moved down into League 1. And then in League 2, you have the whole of the Premier League, plus the top 4 as it stands in the Championship, which is Newcastle, Reading, who else is there? Brighton and Huddersfield. I say I want Huddersfield. So all of them are in League 2 now. So the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United, Spurs, they are all now in the bottom tier of English football. And all we're going to do is simulate through, I don't know, maybe 10 seasons worth and see what happens. So what I'm going to do is sim to Christmas, so about halfway through the season, see how things are looking across all 4 divisions, and then I'm going to sim the rest of the season. I've just chosen Notts County. They're like the oldest club, aren't they, in English football, and they're in the Premier League, so I thought, why not? We'll just have them as a team. Obviously, I'm not going to play any games, just going to simulate through season after season. So we'll come back halfway through this first season, and then at the end of the first season, see who's gone up, who's gone down, and we will keep doing that, and just run through and see what happens when the Football League is upside down. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we are halfway through the first season of this upside down Football League, and our team that we are controlling at the moment, Notts County, are leading the Premier League on 42 points, only 1 defeat all season. I have simmed it through all of it, I haven't played any games at all. They are top at the moment. Blackpool are second, Exeter are third, and Luton Town make up the final Champions League place. Crawley, at the moment, are Europa League football bound. Down the bottom of the Premier League, Stevenage, Cheltenham and Cambridge are in danger of going down. Yeovil and Grimsby also struggling there as well. If we drop down into the Championship, where there are League 1 and 4 League 2 teams, Charlton lead the way, 60 points, haven't lost a game all season. They're absolutely storming the division at the moment. Second, 10 points behind MK Dons. Portsmouth doing very well, obviously of League 2 at the moment, but here majority of League 1 teams are third. Millwall, Gillingham and Peterborough make up the playoffs at the moment. Northampton, Doncaster, Port Vale on the peripheries at the moment. Down the bottom and getting relegated for some of them back to League One. Carlisle, rock bottom, only one win all season. Bristol Rovers, Plymouth and Swindon. So 2 of the League 2 teams there struggling, as you might expect. If we drop down into the League 1, where there are 4 League 1 teams and the rest Championship, Aston Villa lead the way at the moment, 57 points. Sheffield Wednesday second. Norwich, Cardiff, Leeds and Forest make up the playoff places at the moment. Down the bottom, 4 teams go down from League 1, of course. Barnsley, only 1 win all season. Rotherham, only 1 win all season. Burton Albion and Scunthorpe. So only one of the League 1 teams, to be fair, are down there with the Championship ones. So that's quite good. Bradford is struggling a bit as well, though. So, yeah, interesting. Looks like it's between those bottom 5, to be fair. And now League 2. This is where all the Premier League teams are. And it is Chelsea that lead the way at the moment to get back up the divisions. Second to them at the moment is Man City. Third, Arsenal. So those top 3 will go up at the moment if it stays like that. Then in the playoffs are Everton, Spurs, United and Liverpool. Obviously no one gets relegated from League 2, but at the moment Reading, rock bottom of the football pyramid. Bournemouth, Huddersfield down there as well, and Brighton. So pretty interesting to see how things are going in terms of who's going to be coming back up, who's going to be slipping down. So be interesting to see how it finishes at the end of the season. I will show you any transfers if there's anything of note with the Premier League teams, if it happens. If not, we'll see how things finish at the end of the first season.
It is a wonderful feeling.
So there we go. I just thought I'd put this in there. I just played the final game just for a laugh. As you can see, Notts County, the team that I just chose randomly to go through this with, have won the Premier League. So I just thought I'd put the title celebrations in from this first season. I won't do it for any more if we stick with them or whatever. But we've simmed through. Once we've seen these title celebrations, we'll go and have a look. I'll show you what has happened elsewhere in the Football League. But here in the Premier League, it's Notts County that have won it. With this, we just won that game then, so we won it by, we were 8 points clear, I think, so maybe won it by 11 points. Finished on 77 points, Notts County won it with. Luton, I think, have finished second. I'll go through it all in a minute, but O'Connor shall lift the title for Notts County, the oldest team in English football, our champions of England. So this is how the Premier League table finished. Notts County, Luton, Exeter and Leyton Orient will be playing Champions League football next season. Mansfield finished 5th. Going down to the Championship are Cheltenham, Grimsby. Of course, I got Carrero with them. That's quite sad to see. Cheltenham, Grimsby and Yeovil. We'll scroll down to the Championship and see that Charlton, unsurprisingly, they were unbeaten when we last looked at the midway point. Charlton have come back to the Premier League. I say come back. Well, yeah, technically they have come back because they were in the Premier League once before. They've come up with Millwall in second spot, so 2 London clubs coming up. MK Dons, Chesterfield, Gillingham and Portsmouth are playing in the playoffs. Southend, my team in real life, just missing out. Going down to League 1 are Carlisle, Rochdale, Swindon and Plymouth. Fleetwood just staying above that dotted line, so they'll all go again in the Championship. Into League 1, which has obviously the Championship teams and a few League 1 teams. Aston Villa and Norwich finished joint top on points. Aston Villa take it on goal difference to lift the League 1 title, and they'll be in the Championship next season. Cardiff, Forest, Sheffield Wednesday and Fulham are the teams fighting it out in the playoffs. And if we scroll down, it is Barnsley, Rotherham and Scunthorpe that get relegated. Well done to Bradford for staying up there in quite a tough division, and Sheffield United and Bolton. So only one of the sort of non-championship teams there went down in Scunthorpe. And yeah, Rotherham and Barnsley sink to the bottom of English football. They'll be playing in League 2. Coming up from League 2 is Chelsea. They come up as champions, 100 goals they scored. Man City second, Arsenal third, and it will be Everton, Man U, Spurs and Liverpool as the League Two playoffs. Finishing bottom in League Two. Obviously no one goes down from League Two, but finishing bottom there, Reading, unsurprisingly I guess, Huddersfield, one off bottom, and Bournemouth down there as well, Burnley, Brighton, etc. So that's how things have finished here in Season 1. I shall now advance through and show you how the league tables look before we start the season. Just quickly, maybe, I guess, and then we'll advance through to the halfway thing again and carry on and do Season 2. So just before we sim through to the halfway point in Season 2, just wanted to show you how the new look divisions look and tell you who's come up from the playoffs. So obviously Charlton and Millwall were the two teams promoted last season, and it was Chesterfield that came through in the playoffs. So as you can see there, just below Charlton, 6th place. No games played yet in the Premier League. There have been some played in the other divisions. In the Championship, Aston Villa and Norwich off to a good start again, and it was Fulham there in 3rd place that came through the playoffs to claim a place in the Championship. So they're all three of them are back in the division they should be now. Obviously got the relegated teams from the Premier League, so Yeovil, Grimsby, Charlton, they're going to have a long season probably. And then in League 1, QPR after an absolute brilliant start, 4-0 winners. But the team that came through the playoffs from League 2 were Man United. So they join Chelsea, Arsenal and City in League 1. And down in League 2, you would think that Liverpool, Everton and Spurs would be the teams to go up, but we'll have to see. We'll sim through now to the halfway point in Season 2 and see what has happened. So we are now halfway through Season 2 of the Football League is Upside Down, and Notts County again are leading the way at halfway through the season in the Premier League. 42 points so far, 2 clear of Orient. Chesterfield doing well and Exeter, so sort of similar teams to last season, plus Chesterfield. Millwall and Charlton, who came up last season, haven't quite hit the heights yet, as you might expect, and sit on 30 and 29 there. So chance of European football though for them too. Down the bottom of the table, Barnet and Newport really struggling, only 1 win all season for those two. Stevenage also in trouble. Mansfield, who finished Europa League football last season, down in 17th. 3 go down obviously from the Premier League. We'll go across and have a look at the Championship. Norwich and Villa and Fulham absolutely storming it at the moment, as we probably would have expected, considering the majority of the other teams there are League 1 and a couple of League 2, so we probably should have expected this. Norwich, they lost twice, Aston Villa once and Fulham 3 times, so it looks as though it's going to be 2 of those 3 for the top 2 spots. MK Dons, Portsmouth doing well again though, and Fleetwood as well, up there at the moment. Down the bottom of the table, 3 go down from this division. Grimsby, their fall from grace, their fall from the Premier League is continuing. They've only won 2 games all season, bless them. Oxford sit on 17, and Northampton also on 17 points. Oldham just above the dotted line at the moment. We'll move across to League 1, and okay, a little bit of a surprise. So obviously there's only 2 that go up automatically here, and at the moment it's Chelsea and Manchester United looking as though they're going to move up to the Championship. Arsenal sit in 3rd. Cardiff though are in 4th at the moment, above Manchester City, and Sheffield Wednesday are the final team in the playoffs at the moment. A little bit of a gap to QPR. You scroll down to the bottom, Rochdale are rock bottom at the moment. They were relegated from the Championship last season, struggling again. Carlisle, Swindon and Bradford all in the relegation zone at the moment. Blackburn just above that dotted line as well. Bolton, Wigan, also struggling. And finally League 2, Spurs lead the way with Liverpool and Everton 3rd. We did expect that. I said that those should be the 3 to go up, and it looks like they will. West Ham, Leicester, Southampton and Newcastle currently in the playoffs. Sunderland and Crystal Palace not far off, though, down the bottom in League Two. Again, as expected, Burton Albion bottom, Barnsley, Huddersfield, Scunthorpe, all of them down there. Yeah, not too surprising that they are struggling at the moment. Again, I might stop it after the January transfer market and show you anything interesting from that. If not, then it'll be through to the end of the season and we shall see what has happened across the 4 divisions and who will be where for the 3rd season. Okay, so here we are. We are at the end of season 2 and it's time to reveal everything that's gone on throughout this 2nd season of the Football League is Upside Down. The champions for a 2nd successive season are the team that we are sort of controlling in Notts County. 89 points, a bigger points tally than last year. Orient finished 2nd. Their first 2nd season? No, they got 4th last year. Yeah. So an improvement for them anyway. Chesterfield 3rd and Exeter 4th, so they get Champions League football again. Millwall finished 5th and will get Europa League. Charlton miss out despite absolutely storming the Championship last year. Going down this year are Newport County, who last year had the top scorer in John Parkin, Morecambe and Barnet. They'll all be plying their trade in the Championship next season. So they've all gone down into the Championship, and we shall see, as we expected, Norwich and Villa coming up in those 2 automatic places. They were there at halfway stage and they are there at the finish. 105 goals for Villa as well. Very impressive. Portsmouth, though, have leapfrogged Fulham into 3rd. Fulham 4th. MK Dons doing well to finish 5th. And Port Vale 6th place. So they'll all be in the playoffs. We have to see who goes up out of them. Down the bottom, Grimsby. Poor old Grimsby. They're not having a very good time, are they? Bottom of the league. Successive relegations for them. They're going down to League One. Shrewsbury also going down. And Cheltenham are the final team to get relegated from the Championship. Well done to Yeovil for surviving there. The only League 2 team not to go down there. So, I guess you've got Plymouth and Doncaster, technically League 2 teams. But well done to Yeovil for not going down again, because Cheltenham have. So, that's how it's finished in the Championship. Let's move along to League One, and Arsenal are the champions of League One. They've won the title ahead of Man United. That is a crazy points total: 108, 102 and 100. Chelsea have broken the 100-point mark again, but won't be going up. They've got to go into the playoffs. That's just crazy. Arsenal and Man United are up into the Championship, just one step from getting straight back up to the Premier League. Chelsea, City, Cardiff and Derby will be contesting those playoffs. You would expect Chelsea or City to come through there, but for one of them, they'll have another season in League One, which will be frustrating for them. Down at the bottom, going down to League Two, are Rochdale, Carlisle, Swindon and Bradford. Not really a surprise. We probably would have said, if you'd said who's going to go down, you probably would have said those teams. So they're going back down to League Two. Well, back down, they're going down to League Two. Coming up from League Two, Spurs are the champions of League Two. And they'll be coming up with Everton and West Ham. West Ham have pipped Liverpool. So, wow, Liverpool could miss out for a 2nd season on promotion, which would be absolutely terrible for them. They'll be in the playoffs again with Leicester. Well done to Leicester. Newcastle and Southampton. And the rest of them will all go again in League Two. Finishing bottom, though, Burton, and one off bottom, Huddersfield. Obviously, if it was real life again, those two would be going to non-league. But it's not real life, so they'll be there for another season. But yeah, well done to all the promoted teams. And let's get into season 3. So here we are. We are now into the 3rd season. Now, what I'm thinking is this could start to drag on a bit too long, because I'm thinking the talking that I've done has gone longer than needed. So is we'll leave it here at probably once we've gone through the 3rd season, see what happens, and then we shall come back and then go through, I don't know, 3, 4 more seasons, whatever, and do it that way. So I have a couple of episodes of the Football League is Upside Down. As you can see, just to bring you up to date before we go through to halfway in this third season, the team that came through the playoffs were Fulham, so they're now in the Premier League with Villa and Norwich. A couple of games already been played here. Championship already underway. Again, you can see the team that came up were Cardiff. Now, let me just remind you, the playoffs were between Chelsea, Man City, Cardiff and Derby, and Cardiff City won them. Big congratulations to Cardiff for managing to get out there. And they've started okay, haven't they? They've won their first game. Down in League One, final one, the League Two playoffs were between Liverpool, Leicester, Newcastle and Southampton. And as you can see, Liverpool made it up and they've had a good start, won both of their games so far in League One. So we will now advance through to the halfway stage and see how things are going in all 4 divisions. Okay, so we've reached the halfway stage in this third season, and in the Premier League it is Norwich that lead the way for the Premier League title. 2 points clear of Fulham, 5 clear of Aston Villa. So the 3 teams that came up, unsurprisingly, right up there. I have stopped just here before the exact halfway point. Obviously, I only played 18, which is due to the other leagues. They were all already at the halfway stage. So I thought I'd pause it here and show you how things are. Notts County, the team we are technically controlling, down in 7th this year, not doing very well at all. Struggling a bit. I'd look for the results. They have picked up recently, though. Down the bottom, Mansfield, Crawley and Accrington look as though they could be going down. Stephen is struggling there again, and Cambridge and Luton down there as well. In the Championship, Manchester United lead the way, unbeaten so far on 60 points. Just gone the halfway stage there. Arsenal second, unsurprisingly, and Cardiff, who came up with them surprisingly through those playoffs, third. Pompey doing well again in 4th. Oxford and Gillingham make up the playoffs at the moment. Down the bottom, Wimbledon, rock bottom, only 2 wins all season, really struggling. Yeovil look as though they could be going down this time. Obviously, just about stayed up last time, and Oldham down there as well. Barnet could get successive relegations. Newport and Morecambe, though, doing quite well. And Southend, my team in real life, not doing too well at the moment. Only 3 wins all season. League One, Chelsea unbeaten. And a point clear of Liverpool, who only lost 1 game. Spurs, Man City, Everton and West Ham make up the playoffs there. Leeds, QPR, not too far away, but I would think that's how the top 6 will finish with those Premier League sides. Down the bottom, Cheltenham have not won a game yet. Poor things. Only on 4 points there because they're definitely going down. Grimsby, Shrewsbury and Preston all in the bottom lot as well. Birmingham and Wigan also struggling. Finally in League 2, Leicester top at halfway. Look as though they're going to be climbing the pyramid again. Stoke and Crystal Palace. Newcastle hot on the heels though as well, making up the playoffs as well. Sunderland, Swansea and Southampton. West Brom has been not too far away. So yeah, except Watford and Hull, all those top teams are all, the current Premier League teams. Down the bottom, Scunthorpe rock bottom, Swindon one off, Carlisle also struggling. So that's how it is in the halfway stage. Let's see how things turn out. Okay, so to finish off this episode, first of I don't know how many episodes it'll be, but to finish off this episode of the Football League is Upside Down, we have the conclusion of Season 3, and as you can see, Aston Villa are Premier League champions. The first time in 3 seasons Notts County have not won it. A very respectable 80 points my team picked up. Just as a sort of word as to, I have been signing players for Notts County. I didn't in the first season, left it completely alone, but as the second and third season we were competing in the Champions League, I did sign a few. I've signed in some players that have then grown. So that's, I think, is why we have finished so high up. I don't think, if we hadn't signed the players, I don't think we'd be up there. We'd probably be back maybe 7th or 8th, maybe. So, yeah, but Aston Villa win the Premier League. A point clear of Fulham and 2 points clear of Norwich. Very close between the three of them, as we probably would have expected. Notts County get Champions League football. Charlton will go into the Europa League. Down the bottom, Crawley Town are relegated. Accrington Stanley sadly go back down to the Championship. And Luton Town as well, who were top 4 side last year, I think. Yeah, in the first season they finished second to us. 2 seasons later they've been relegated from the Premier League. Mansfield and Stevenage just survive the drop. Down into the Championship, Arsenal win the Championship. I think, is that... No, they didn't win the first time, did they? But they won League One, they won the Championship now, so successive titles for Arsenal. 2 points clear of Man United. They're obviously unbeaten at the halfway stage. They only lost 2 games all season, but miss out on the title. The playoffs will be contended between Cardiff City, Portsmouth again, Oxford, Gillingham, and Coventry miss out on the playoffs. Cardiff very close though to maybe pipping one of the Premier League teams, but you'd expect them to win the playoffs. Down the bottom, 3 teams go down. It is Yeovil Town, AFC Wimbledon, and Barnet. Barnet going down on goal difference just by 1 from Northampton. So very lucky Northampton to stay in the Championship this season. Oldham and Southend also survive. Down into League One, Chelsea again champions. Obviously they won League 2, then they missed out on promotion via the playoffs last year, but they win League 1 this time. 5 points clear of Liverpool. The playoffs we've contended between, as we expected, the 4 Premier League teams, the other 4 Premier League teams that are in there: Spurs, Man City, West Ham, and Everton. So it'd be interesting to see who goes up out of them. Down the bottom, it's not been a good season for Cheltenham. At the halfway stage, they hadn't won a game. They did win 1 game, but that was it. 12 points they finish on. Grimsby go down as well. Preston and Shrewsbury quite considerably, adrift of Birmingham. They're 12 points adrift. So those 4 will be going down to League 2. And in League 2, it is Leicester City, the reigning Premier League champions, that win League 2 and will go up to League 1. Crystal Palace and Stoke will join them there. Poor old Newcastle, though, they miss out on goals scored. Literally 4 goals less they scored. Both finished on the same points, same goal difference, but they only scored 83 goals. And they miss out on automatic promotion. They'll go in the playoffs against Swansea, Southampton and West Brom down the bottom of the division. Swindon Town finish rock bottom. Carlisle 1 off bottom. So I think that is where we are going to leave this episode of the Football League is Upside Down. I was hoping to get through like 10 seasons in one episode and just do a one-off thing, but I don't think that's realistic. So we'll have a couple of these just showing you sort of what happens over the years. It'll be interesting next season because obviously we're going to have Arsenal and Man United in the Premier League as well as probably Cardiff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there and, who will win the Premier League really out of Arsenal and Man United, or maybe Villa, Fulham. They could spring a surprise. You never know. But you have to come back and find out what happens in regard to that. That is going to be it though for this special episode thing, and be sure to join me next time. Do follow me on Twitter at Tibbin27 is the place to be. Twitch, it's Tibbin27. Again, search on there. Try and do some more live streaming throughout 2017. So, be sure to follow me on there as well. But that is it for this episode. Join me next time for the Football League is Upside Down to see who will be taking away the Premier League trophy in Season 4. That is it, though. So, for now, it is Tibbin27 out.